All right, so while you're working with your noodle today, just remember, try to use your best form. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed and down. Try to keep heels down too when we're doing standing, not staying up on those tippy toes. And try to also give relief to your hands whenever you can. So not always grabbing really tightly onto the pool noodle and not putting too much pressure on the wrist. You want to keep the wrist pretty neutral, not too much bend, flexion in the wrist. So holding onto my noodle with my bent wrist is going to cause pain. So try to keep it straight and engaged here as much as possible. We're going to get started with our very first exercise. This one's going to be just a push and pull. We're going to keep the palms facing to the ground. You're going to stand really, really tall. I just want you to maybe find a staggered stance. One foot's in front of the other one. Relax the shoulders. Now I'm going to take the noodle and try to push it into the water a little bit. And then I'm going to push it forward. And then on the pullback, I want to pull my elbows straight into the back and then go forward. So I'm pulling my elbows straight back, squeezing my back muscles, and then push, strong pull, and push. Now I'm working the upper body. These are chest and back muscles. Now to make it more challenging for you, you can always go ahead and widen your hands and drop it down a little deeper and pull. It's going to be more challenging. If that's too much, and especially if you have a big noodle, bring it in a little bit more narrow, and then pull back and push. Let's try to do this with a 2-2 count. So we're going to go out, out, pull in, press out, out, pull in. So you're breathing strong. There's not really a right or wrong way to breathe with these because we're kind of doing our work both directions. So you just want to keep a consistent, strong breath, never holding it in and never keeping it very shallow with that breathing. So strong breath. And let's go a few more here. Squeeze, strong push, almost locking the elbows but not locking completely, pull, and then push. Let's go last one. Bring it in. We're going to move to the lower body. So lower body, this noodle's going to come in handy if you want to help support yourself or go to the wall, or you want to work on your balance. This is a good one just to work on the balance. Let the noodle just float for a moment. Now, for this one here, just take one foot behind you. You can use this, like I said, to help balance yourself out. Put one foot behind you. It's a glute squeeze. We're going to do 12 on each side. So you're going to put your toe into the floor. You're going to squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. My shoulders are relaxed. I have the toe kind of pointed. And I'm just squeezing my glute. I'm not doing any pain or movement in my back. So my back's really kind of not involved in this whole glute squeeze. It's just a squeeze of the glute and then a release. A squeeze and a release. Once you've reached the 12, so hopefully you've been counting, if not you're about there, then you're going to step in and you're going to do the same thing with the other one. Keep those shoulders relaxed, toes to the floor, just squeeze, toe comes off the ground, and then relax. Squeeze and relax. Strong breath with this one. So you can do a nice big exhale as you squeeze your glute. Inhale on the down. Squeeze and release. I'm going to do about 4 more if you want to join me for those. And 3. Here's that last one. All right, go ahead and step in and rest. We're going to move into the upper body again. So we're going to move into a little bit more shoulder push down, core engagement here. So now again, the more beefy that noodle is, the more you're going to require the power to push it down. We're going to take this one down in a 3 count down and then a quick up. So relax your shoulders and then just push it slow. Elbows are out to the sides, shoulders relaxed. You're going to push down 3 count. 3, 2, 1. Bring it up quick, but don't break the surface. 3, 2, 1. Up quick. 3, 2, 1. Up quick. You got it. And find the stance that helps keep you grounded to the floor. Big exhale, push. Inhale, up. Now we're trying to just keep our core engaged by having that belly button tucked in. Strong push to the floor. Release up quick. Strong push to the floor. Release up quick. Let's do 4 more. Last one. And reset. Shake out your shoulders here. Let's go to your core. So your core is your foundation of your body. It's your midsection. pretty much, kind of from the shoulders to the hips into the quad area there. That's your consider your core. You hear core all the time. That's kind of where it is, so you're aware. Now we're going to work on strengthening the obliques, the sides of the body. Okay, so find your noodle. Now for this one here, I'm going to have you do a strong push down. Your shoulders need to stay relaxed. We don't want the shoulders up by the ear. We don't want the tension in the shoulders. So you're going to take and get ready to push that noodle down. Find yourself in any stance that can support you for a tall posture. And then you're going to push straight down to the floor and then bring it back up. Big exhale, push, and then back up with the same count. So down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up. Strong push, and then back up. And again, my shoulders are not coming up to my ears. I'm just letting the noodle rise back up, and I'm pressing down, going maybe about as deep as my knee, only if your form supports it. So if you start feeling any kind of pain in the low back, you're going too deep or you're not leaning just to the side. Let's do about 3 here. Again, your own tempo if you need to go at your own tempo. Let's switch to the other side. Same thing, just bring the noodle to the other side. Relax your shoulder. Just take a hand and press it to the floor. Push down, using the side of the body to push. And then pushing down. So we are getting a little bit of shoulder work here as well. But we're really trying to engage the sides of the body with a strong stretch and push. And down to the side. Pushing down nice and deep. And let's do our last 3 here. All right, let's move on. We're going to go to the lower body and core again. You know, when you're in the pool, your core is actually quite engaged for most of your exercises because your core is keeping you upright, tall, and from like falling over. So you have to constantly adjust. And we're working on our balance while we're in the pool quite often because you're staying in place and we're not tipping or anything. Your body is figuring out with the waves and things in the pool. So it's a really wonderful way to exercise. Okay, so we're going to take our noodle. This time we're going to do a single leg deadlift. Now we're going to take and widen up those hands a little bit. Mine are a little wider than my shoulders here, but my shoulders are still relaxed. I'm going to do a strong push to the floor here. As I push to the floor, my left toe is to the floor behind me. I'm going to take and let that left toe raise up behind me. So I'm going to push down, let my toe raise up, and then I'm going to come back all the way up. Big push to the floor, let the toe come up, a little pause, and all the way up. Exhale, push it down. So you're just going to kind of tip forward so you're almost parallel to the water. Strong press to the floor. My right foot stays glued to the floor the best I can as I push down and then come back to the top. Let's try it 4 more times on that leg. Try not to break the surface too much with the noodle because we're not really doing so much shoulder push. It's more our deadlift. So we're just tipping and back up. This is a great balance exercise. And back to center. Once you're there, let's switch the other side. I'm going to turn so you can see my other leg lifting. Again, tall. Find that tall posture that you have. We all have our tall posture, right? Shoulders relax. Once you're ready, that toe is behind you on the other side. You're going to hinge, push down, squeeze the glute here a little bit so that toe can come up a little bit higher. And find that center of gravity that we all have. Push down. Let the foot raise. Come back in. Breathe. Got a little bit more coming here. Yep. Now, did you notice one side's easier? Because we typically have an easier side that things just kind of go smoother for us on. I'm going to do 2 more if you would like to join me here. Okay, let go of the noodle for a second. Shake out your fingers, and then we're going to move on again. We're moving into your biceps here. Now, I picked a smaller noodle for this one because those bigger noodles sometimes are a little hard to grab with my hands. And I don't have big hands, so it's hard for me to grab because I'm going to be pulling down. So if you have a smaller noodle at this point, you might want to use it. But again, up to you how you feel comfortable using your equipment there. So I'm going to grab onto my noodle, my palms face up for this one. Now we're going to be doing our pull down. So I'm going to get my foot into a staggered position, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. My 1 foot in the front is firmly planted, relaxing my shoulders. Now I'm starting with the palms up, facing the sky, and I'm grabbing my noodle. I have my hands so that my elbows are kind of tucked into my body here. So they're about that width from your body. And now I'm going to just take, and I'm going to do that 3 count again. So I'm going to do a 3 count pull down. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, up quick. 3, 2, 1, up quick. Down slow, up quick. So we're working on actually both sides of the arms here, because you do use your front of the arms and the back of the arms with these ups and down pulls. So we're just toning the upper arm area. Exhale as you pull down. You can inhale on the up for this one. That tall posture. Again, you're in that stance, which is requiring us to work on our balance. Try to keep ourselves situated to the floor of the pool. I'm going to do about 4 more here. And my last one. And all the way back up to the center. Now we're going to bring the noodle into the front. Now my noodle is pretty bendy here. If you have buoys, it may be a little bit more challenging, just so you know. So this is going to turn into like a rainbow shape. So I'm going to kind of squeeze my noodle. Going to keep the noodle sort of at the very top of the water, but a little teeny bit submerged. And I'm going to do some high knees. And these are really slow high knees because I'm working on my abdominals to bring my knees up and down. And I'm working on my balance. So I want slow high knees. When we do these faster, that's more cardio. Today we're on our toning and balance. So really tall posture. So find 1 foot planted and then bring the other foot up by raising it with the knee going into a bend. So bring it up, kind of tap underneath the knee, and then bring it down. Let's go to the other leg. Knee up. So you're bending the knee, lifting it, and then tap down. Lift. I'm trying to bring the noodle together underneath my knee. Now, if you're like, I can't get my knee that high, that's okay. You can kind of just bring it in and tap the sides of your leg if you'd like. Or you can just kind of squeeze a noodle and just get close. It doesn't have to be perfect, especially when we have our balance required. So whatever works for you today. The whole object of these moves is to get better and stronger, right? And this may be day 1 for you. So wherever you are today, we just look forward to what's next. And don't worry if it is day 1 and you're having a struggle. It does get easier, guys. Okay, keep going, slow and steady. Are even getting a little shoulder work here as well in the upper body with those squeezes. Doing a nice big exhale as you squeeze the noodle together. I'm going to do 1 more on each of my legs here. And then go ahead and relax. Take the noodle and bring it behind you. Now, if you're in really, really deep water, I would move to more shallower water because you want to be able to put the noodle with your palms on the noodle so that your palms can push down on this one. So if you have the noodle way up super high and you can't get it, you want to try to get to a little bit more shallow water so that way we don't put too much stress on the shoulders. Notice how my elbows are going backwards on this one. So I can move my noodle however I need to get my elbows going backwards, and I have my shoulders relaxed. This is a tricep press down. Elbows are behind me, shoulders are relaxed, foot is planted to the floor best I can in my stagger stance to help me. Now I'm going to do a 3 push down. So 3, 2, 1, up, quick. Try not to break the surface. 3, 2, 1, up, quick. Exhale, push it down towards the bottom and then come up. Try to not go past the surface. Pull in your abdominals, so that belly button in towards the spine. Let's go for 4 more. And then go ahead and bring it to the side under the arm here, and you can relax on it. So I'm kind of like in my left side here leaning, my left foot's planted, and my right toe is kind of out to the side. And I'm just going to kind of hang out here. This is going to be core and hips. It's balance as well. If you need to set up closer to the wall, please do, because this one's going to, like I said, be balanced. Once you get into the position, you kind of sink down, bend the knee here on the left side. Now I have my right leg long and the toes to the floor. Now hold on to the noodle and find your balance first. And this may be, all right, I just got to work on balance today. You have the ability to raise your toes off the floor. We're going to do a hip shift. So you're going to take your hip, you're going to lift it and bring the toe up off the floor. So you're going to lift the toe up and then bring it back down to the floor. Big exhale with the lift, inhale down. Now my other hand can be wherever it takes me to find my balance. So if I need to scull the water, I can do whatever I need to. You can just support into that noodle though. So find your balance where you need to go, and we're just going to lift those hips to the side. Not only working on the hips on the one side, we're working on the core. We're working on our strength for our balance. And you might find a little wobbling happen. That's okay. Just stabilize yourself the best you can. Find your control. And let's go about 4 more here. And 3. Are you moving around a bit? That's okay, like I said. Last one. Let's try it on the other side. So bring it to the right side. I'm going to kind of sink down into the right side and bending that right knee. I'm going to take my left leg out to the side, toes into the floor, and the long leg on that left side. Kind of finding my balance wherever I need to. So find your noodle where the balance is. Once you find your balance, you're going to lift the leg and then tap the floor. Lift the leg to the side. So you should be feeling the hips firing up on the side of the body as you go. And anchor into that noodle, find your balance, pull in your belly button. Yep, this is a challenging one, I know. So not all of them are going to go super slow. I can get it. Yep, I'm challenged with it as well. Big breath. Can you give me about 5 more? Or approximately 5, based on your speed. And reset, come all the way in. Let's take the noodle and go into a plank position. Now for a plank position, you can always have the noodle up against the wall for like less movement. So if your noodle is up against the wall for this, it'll help to stabilize you. If you want to work on trying to stabilize more, which is going to work more of your muscles, then you're going to want to do it without the wall, but stay close if you need it. You never know. Now for this one here, it's a plank. Now I don't know if you've ever seen a plank before, but it's just kind of trying to keep your whole body nice and steady and straight, like a table, just a long table. So we're just going to take the noodle. We're going to bring our hands out a little bit wider than our shoulder width, and we're going to just hold the noodle out in front of us. And then to keep my toes into the floor, I don't want my heels down on this one. This one I want to kind of have a hinge forward, and I just want to look straight ahead and hold. Now, this one here is literally just stabilizing. It's trying to keep yourself steady. If you are having a really easy time with this one, bring your toes a little closer together, the feet there, and bring your hands a little bit closer together. And then you're going to find that that balance is not as easy because we have less to support us. So more wobble might happen here. If it's too challenging, walk your feet wider and go more to like an X shape with upper and lower body. So if you want to bring your hands even in more, you can. Bring the toes closer together. Like I said, bring feet in nice and close. Kind of reaching through the hands, reaching through those toes, breathing, and you're just hanging here. If you can work on increasing your endurance in this position, your balance and your core strength, your whole body stabilizing is going to improve. Kind of just relaxing, right? Once you get into that position. Now stay in that position, but widen your feet a little bit if you have them really close, and widen your hands a little bit. So I'm still in my plank. Now, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. So I'm still in that plank. What I want you to do is bend your elbows and then extend your elbows. So we're going to bend the elbows and then extend the elbows without letting your body move. Just the elbows. Bend and extend. How is it going out there? Is it challenging? This one might be very challenging, and it may not be hard at all for some. We want to try to keep the body as steady as possible, because our plank, this is how you make the plank progress. We want to make it so that my whole body is not moving, but just that little bit in the arms, in the elbows. Still looking forward, keeping your body braced, abs are engaged, strong. About 4 more pushes. You're doing push-ups, really. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, let's bring that in. So step in, come to your tall posture. Yeah, that was good. We're going to sit on your noodle. Now you have options with your noodle, and you can always sit on it with a straddle, or you can sit on it like a smile. I'm going to sit on it. So it's like my upside down rainbow here. So just sit on it like kind of like you're riding a horse kind of thing. Now, now what I want you to do is not keep the feet down, have them planted. So we're letting the noodle do a little bit of the keeping us buoyant at this point. We're going to keep your hands out to the sides. You have a T shape. Shoulders are in the water. So I don't think we have a problem sinking down in the water at this point. If you're way high floating, maybe your noodle's a little too much for you there, and you got to get a skinnier noodle. So I'm in the water. My hands are out to the sides. We're going to just go ahead and try to keep the toes to the floor or floating all the way off the floor. And I just want you to bring your hands down into the body. So take your elbows, keep them straight, bring the hands straight down to the sides, and then bring them up. Big exhale, bring them down. Inhale, bring them up. And my hands are flat at this point. Little flat hands down and back up. These are just lateral raises. We're raising the shoulders and then we're lowering them. As we do this, we're working on the balance because we're trying not to have our feet to the floor, right? Let the noodle support you here so we can engage our core muscles. Pull down and then back to the top. Try not to break the surface again. And every time we keep those joints in the water, it's awesome. Let's do one more, and then we're going to change it a little bit. All right, now up to the top. I'm going to keep my right hand out to the side. I'm bringing my left arm down. Okay, so I have one arm out to the side, one arm down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the placement and see how my balance gets affected. So I'm going to bring one up. Whoa. Yeah, the other one's down, and let's swap them. Yep. You move a little bit there, right? Try to keep that core engaged. Keep yourself centered on your noodle. Yes. Big breath. Keep tick-tocking those arms. One up, one down. And we're going to go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, bring those hands so that we're going to work to a breaststroke now. Now, a breaststroke means you're going to push forward, you're going to round, and then you're going to pull in. I'm sure you're all aware of a breaststroke, so let's do a forward breaststroke, then a back breaststroke, and let's do it with control. Try not to move too much on our noodle. So a forward breaststroke, then a reverse breaststroke, a forward breaststroke, and a reverse. You shouldn't be going very far anywhere because we are going one forward and one reverse. A forward and a reverse. So I'm scooping that water along for a bigger movement, and I'm pushing it with like a rounded palm here as I move to make it a little bit bigger. But my noodle, I'm still straddling it, so I'm moving forward a bit and moving back a bit. And I have my shoulders submersed. And can you go 2 more times? Wonderful. Take the noodle to the side. I'm going to lean into my left side here. So again, when you lean, just lean into it. Keep the shoulder relaxed. Keep that knee bent, foot to the left side. My right leg is extended out to the side, so my right leg is long. What I want you to do is lean in, and if you need to come closer to the wall, go closer to the wall for this one. Just find your balance using your noodle here. So that lean already starts us on an unstable surface. What I want you to do is do a knee drive in. So my right knee is going to come up towards my left shoulder. So I'm going to bring my knee up, and then I'm going to tap my foot down. As I do, I'm kind of swinging my arms here to help me with my balance. Knee up, tuck, tap down. Knee up, tuck, tap down, and big strong tuck and tap down. So we're doing our abdominals, but we're working on the core and your obliques and your balance. Strong posture here. Now you can try it without the arm. It's a little bit more challenging because it doesn't help balance you as much. Feel free to do it either way. I like the arm movement, so my arm works in opposition of my leg to help me move it. Good. Drive it in. Try to bring it across your midline here, up and across. Good strong crunch. Let's do 4 here. Here's 4. 3. Last one. Take it in and go to the other side. So just bringing it under the other shoulder. Okay, it's under my other shoulder now. So I'm in my right side. I've got it relaxed with the shoulder. I found my center of balance. My right leg, knee is bent, foot is to the floor. Left leg, the leg is extended. Bringing my left knee up to meet somewhere near. It doesn't have to meet it, but it's just coming that direction. So you're going to bring that knee up, tap it down, a knee repeater, cross body here, but we have that lean. So strong body, big exhale, bring it up. Good job. And it's just the most gentle tap to the floor with the toe as you bring that knee up. You got about 5 more coming here. Just got 5 and 4. Yeah, hang in there. Gently tap it back down and come back to center. Let's work on our core rotation. Now for this one, I'm going to bring the noodle behind me. It can stay in front, it can be behind, it doesn't matter on this one. I'm going to bring the noodle down so I have it submersed. I'm going to keep my feet planted. Shoulders are relaxed. We're going to rotate through the whole entire body here. Hips too. My feet are going to pivot along on the floor here, so my toes are going to be into the floor on the back side. So my one foot's going to plant, the other one's going to pivot, then the other side will do the same thing. So I just want you to rotate And then other side, rotate. Now I have all this resistance from my noodle. Now you can keep it behind as long as you keep the shoulders relaxed. If you're finding that your shoulders are putting too much pressure on it, bring it to the front. Do the same movement. Strong breath. Do that pivot, shift through the hip. We're looking for our hip mobility on this one. And we're going to go 4, 3, last one, and then go ahead and relax that. Let's work on some more balance. So I'm taking a staggered stance. Staggered again means foot in front of the other foot. So you can go as much as a railroad track, like in how on one line straight ahead, or it can be wider. It's to be straight railroad track. It can be a little bit wider, more stability. The closer those feet are together, the less stability we have. So you can always adjust your feet however you need to. But just remember, we're in the pool. This is a great place to go ahead and work on our balance. I have my noodle on my right side. I have my right foot forward, my left foot behind. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just working on balance here, a little bit of my core strength as well. I'm just going to take my noodle, I'm going to push it out to the right side and then drag it back into the body, and I'm going to try to keep as tall of a posture. I'm going to keep my left hand on my hip, but my left hand can come out here to help me balance. So let's try that. So just push it out. You can pull it back in. Now, if you're finding that this is really easy, you can add a little more lean and back in. Now play around with the movement. If you're finding that's easy still, bring your heels and toes all the way together, and then try it there, and then bring it back in. We want to make ourselves as unstable as we can to challenge ourselves, but not to the point that it's not doable movement. It's a really good one for the hips and obliques again here. Mobile hips are super important. I mean, all of our joints being mobile, that need to be mobile, are super important, but we want to really pay attention to those hips while we're in the pool, because this is a great place to work on them. It gives us an ability to do things that we might not be able to do on land, right? Let's do 2 more. Bring it back in. Let's try it on the other side. So my left foot's forward, right foot's behind. I'm going to start with my heels and toes pretty much touching each other, because I did pretty good on that one. Does that not mean that this side's going to be more challenging though? So my noodle's on my left side, and I'm going to reach out, bring it back in. And then as I do it, I'm going to try to add that side bend so it's a little bit bigger. Think reaching further away. As I reach, I'm kind of pushing my hip out to the side as I'm reaching. So I'm kind of helping to stabilize by pushing my hip out. Can you do about 5 more of those? Last 2. Okay, step in. Let's keep working on those hips. I have the noodle under my left arm. Again, shoulders relaxed. Now I'm going to keep my left foot planted, and I'm going to keep my tall posture for this one. So really tall, just like I'm standing up. And I'm going to take my right leg out to the side. Once it's out to the side, this is requiring balance and hip strength, guys. So do what you can. Once that leg is out to the side, the toes tap to the floor, we're just going to take the foot off the floor. Now I'm already finding myself, all right, now I'm balancing. Okay, once I'm there, your challenge is either stay here and just find your balance, or circles with the foot. You're going to circle your foot around. It's not an easy movement again. A challenging one, but we are up for a challenge today, right? Circle around. Now, if you want to slow it down and reverse it and try the other direction, feel free. Yeah, and that made me move too when I turned my foot in the opposite direction. And about 2 more circles here. And they can be small or big, up to you. And you can tap down anytime. Let's try the other side. So bring it underneath the other shoulder. I'm not leaning into it to like lean. I'm keeping my tall posture. And if this is way too challenging, just go closer to the wall and use the wall to use that, because you can use a more supportive surface if you need to. So I'm in the other side of the body, really tall. My left foot is out to the side, toes into the floor. Now I'm going to raise that toe up off the floor, and I'm just going to hang out here. Now if this is all I can do today, that's okay. I can just even lower and lift here if I want to just go lowering and lift. If you want the challenge to go with me today for the hip circles, so you're going to do the circle around in one direction. So find yourself around, and if you need to tap down, you tap down. Circling around. I'm trying to point through my toes with this one, so feel free to point through your toes. Faster will be a little bit more balance needed. Let's slow it down and then reverse it. So find your ground there, bring it the other direction, and see how it affects your balance. Keep your bellies pulled in here so those abs are pulled in really strong. Let's do another upper body exercise. So I'm going to find myself just in a staggered stance again. I have my right foot forward, left foot back, and I'm holding on the left side at the very end of my noodle, and it's kind of in front of my body. The right arm is out to the side here, so I have a long arm on the right. My other arm is in close to my body. Once I'm ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the surface of the water, and I'm going to pull the noodle down and inward. So I want to bring it down and towards my back. Ease down, pull down, and then relax it. Back to the surface. Exhale, pull it down and back up. So we're trying to pull down. We're doing our lats, using the back muscles to pull down. We're using the shoulders to pull down. We're using our core to stabilize. Got about 6 more here. Here's 6. And 5. Yep. Strong and powerful. 4. Last one on that side. Step in, switch the feet, switch the hands. So the other arm, left side, is out to the side. It's long. My right hand is on the noodle at the very end. My right elbow is bent. I bring the noodle down and towards my, almost like your hip, a little bit behind your hip. You're trying to pull down and behind. We want to use the back muscles. So when the back muscles are engaged, you're pulling down and behind. It's not just a pull straight down, it's down and backwards. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed though. We got to keep those shoulders down. Let's do about 5 more. And 5. 4. Last one. Wonderful. Go ahead and shake out those hands. Little awesome job, guys. All right, so we're at the end of our workout for today. Now your hands did a lot of work today, so let's just give some love to the hands. So hands close into a gentle fist, open the palms. Hands close into a gentle fist, open the palms. All the grabbing and then opening. So we want to reverse by stretch. So close and stretch. And then one more. And then take those fingers. I got like jazz hands. Close and open. Close and open. Stretching out those fingers. 2 more. Okay, let's go to the shoulders. We did do a lot of work with the shoulders today, so I want to make sure your shoulders are relaxed too. So let's work on our shoulder mobility and just keep the noodle off to the side. Stand really tall. Bring your shoulders up to your ears. Yep, that's why I said up to the ears. Bring them back. Drop them down and reset. Up, back, down. Lift, back, and depress them down. Just relax out your shoulders. Bring 2 more here. And last one. All right, before you go, I also want you to stretch your hips. So if you have your noodle still available, grab the noodle. If not, you can use the pull ball or none of the above. You're just gonna hang it onto it. I'm gonna cross my 1 foot over my knee, and I'm just gonna sit back into it here. Just kind of open up my hips. We did a lot of hip work here, so I just want to make sure that you relieve the muscles and the joints that had a lot of work done to them. I'm not going to go through every stretch today, though, so please make sure that if there's any muscles that do feel a little achy or that I noticed them today, make sure you do some stretching on your muscles there, especially before you get out of the pool. Okay, step in. Let's switch to other side. Foot goes across the knee, and then just sit back into the hips and just relax. Strong breath. And all the way up to the tall posture. Thanks so much for joining me today for our strengthening workout. I hope that you guys learned some new ways to tone your body in your pool, and I hope you come back and do this workout with me again. I'd love to have you join me. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.